Hello, and welcome to learning how to play Life on the Homestead, a solo journaling RPG where you run your own little homestead. It's available on itch.io. I will link it in the description. It looks super cool. So, Life on the Homestead is a solo journaling RPG. Through your journal entries, you take on the life of a homesteader and craft a story that can be as brief or as in-depth as the player wishes. As you progress through the game, you'll create a world that is limited only by your imagination. Card draws and dice rolls will give some randomness to your world, but ultimately it's up to the player to dictate the direction in which you take your homestead. Now keep in mind, while playing, that the rules and events take place during the game are not set in stone. Feel free to change or modify anything you wish and truly create the world you want. Okay, the first page of your journal is devoted to your character sheet or homestead sheet. The following is an outline on how to set up your homestead sheet. 1. Name your homestead. That's the hardest part. Let's just put this like that. We'll do that later. Roll for location. 4. Wetlands. Roll for skill. Fishing. How appropriate in the wetlands. Let's roll for starting crop. 5. Melons. Well, melons do require a lot of water to grow. And starting animal. 5. Ducks! Oh my goodness, this couldn't have worked out better. Okay, you can make your homestead sheet as detailed as you like. You could also add more choices or change the starting options. So, a very versatile game. Beep, 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 beep. You start at day 1. Okay. Got a deck of cards right here. Day 1 of the homestead. I got an 8 of hearts. Draw a card, then match the card to the card table to find out what your day will entail. Make a journal entry for the day and the event that took place, going into as much or as little detail as you wish. 8 of hearts. Scroll down to the hearts table. You find and tame a wild horse. Okay. So I imagine that I've just recently moved in or inherited this, what was it called? This homestead. And, you know, I think it's probably a little bit run down and needs some fixing up. The wetlands is a pretty harsh place to try to maintain any building that will have structural integrity for a very long time. You know, I thought it might be the perfect place for me since I do enjoy fishing and a good melon, and I think that maybe we should expand our crops someday because a melon and duck farm really doesn't, I don't think that would yield a lot of profits. And it'd be really hard on the environment. But so this horse just came up covered in mud. And it was really, really skittish at first, but horses are rare around here, especially wild horses. You know, they don't usually hang out in this part of the wetlands. And so, you know, I left it a trail of food that it would eat, grains or something along that. lines until it finally let me approach it. And then miraculously, I tamed a horse in one day. So that's kind of neat. And then what does it say after that? After your journal entry for day 1 is complete, draw another card and complete the process. Play as long as you like. If you run out of cards, just reshuffle the deck and keep going. Keep in mind this game is open-ended and can be restarted or continued as you like. If you go through all the cards in the deck and wish to continue, reshuffle the deck and carry on. Nice. So now we draw another card. Ooh, 7 of hearts. I promise I shuffled these. You install a windmill on your land. So day 2, install a windmill. So that's pretty neat. So let's just see if we can do this. Please. So this is the homestead, please. Thank you. This is the homestead. So we'll have 1 square as the melons. And we'll have like a lake area. Here's the house. And the little duckies hang out here. Ducks. And let's say we put the windmill over here. That's a windmill. Cool. So I imagine that took pretty much most of the day. Oh, I have a horse too. Horse. That's a horse. So the next day, day 3, we get the 6 of clubs. Clubs. One of your owned animals gave birth. Oh my goodness. So I have a bunch of ducks, and day 3, duck gave birth. So maybe they've had the eggs for a while and they finally hatched the eggs, because I don't think I would spend very much time on an egg being produced. So now we have another little duck. Two of clubs. Create a food dish using an owned crop as an ingredient. So today I decided to make melon ice cream. I don't know what came over me. It's pretty warm outside. And I was like, man, melons are awful refreshing. Maybe that could be a refreshing sweet treat. And I just made melon ice cream. And Let's roll a d6 and see how it was. It was a 6. It was fantastic. Absolutely primo. Can't believe I never thought of doing this further. May have to open a Melon ice cream store in the future. And so that probably tickled me pink. Okay, so I got the Ace of Clubs. Obtain a new crop. Perfect. And so maybe the next day I'm thinking, melons aren't enough. I should grow apples. So today I planted apples. And let's expand this a little. This little area over here. Got lots of apple trees. Oh gosh. Apples. And you know, planting apple trees is pretty hard work, and so that took most of the day. And so I go to sleep and I wake up for day 6 on the homestead, where I got the Queen of Diamonds. Queen of Diamonds is spend the day hunting. Day 6, spend the day hunting. And while my passion is fishing, you know, a melon and fish diet isn't all it's cracked up to be. I definitely need to acquire some different types of foods and make sure I keep variety in my diet. And so I'm gonna roll a d6, and if it's 4 through 6, I'll find something while I was hunting, and if it's 1 through 3, I will not. And I got a 5. Nice. So today I went hunting, and it was a pretty long day. It took most of the morning. You know, I didn't get anything in the morning. I came back home and ate some more melon ice cream, and that was left over from last night. And then I went back out and went and hunted, and you know, eventually I got a little deer, and that'll provide us some meat for quite a while. And all I should have to do is freeze it, but after, you know, taking it, cleaning it, and getting everything ready so I can store it, and then of course having like the best part on the first day as a nice little reward for my hunt. And then I go to sleep and wake up the next day and decide what I'm gonna do. Today I decided to venture into town and purchase some new tools for my whittling. And oh no, I don't have whittling. Oops. Fishing. So I purchased some new fishing supplies, you know, maybe some new lures, new line that's maybe a little lighter but stronger somehow. You know, maybe I purchased a new rod. I'm not totally sure. And you know, it probably took some time to like check on all my plants and my horse and the ducks, make sure the baby duck's still doing okay, make sure the windmill's all good and the apple trees aren't getting eaten by local wildlife. And so then today I got an ace, so I obtain a new crop. New crop. You know, I just didn't have enough melons. And so I'm thinking maybe the melon ice cream business could really take off. And I'm going to plant more melons. And so I spend most of the day doing that, thinking about my dreams of selling melon ice cream to the world and making people happy. And that probably takes up most of the day. And today, day 8? No, day 9. I have drawn a joker. Joker. Obtain a new skill. How exciting. You know, I'm really taking to homesteading life, and I think it might be for me. New skill. 6, smithing. Okay. Learn smithing. So today I decided that, you know, I was thinking if I learned how to smith, I wouldn't have to purchase my tools. I could just make them myself. And so I probably went to the library and researched smithing. I highly doubt that there's internet service on my wetlands homestead, so I can't just YouTube University it. And I probably start to get set up my little smithing forge and begin to learn that. That's super, super cool. And that was extremely tiring. So the next day, I take a break from smithing and fishing, and I think that maybe the ducks and the lone horse are a little bit lonely, and that I should expand by getting more ducks. You know, I never thought I'd become the duck person, but yeah. With a duck, you always have a little luck. And so my train of thought is with 20 ducks, you get 20 more luck. And we'll see how that goes going into day 11. So day 11, I got the 4 of diamonds. You meet someone who claims to be a wizard. Wizard. So I'm sure that I sat and talked to this wizard person. Oh, we should draw more ducks. Oh, I'm sure I sat and talked to this person who claimed to be a wizard for far too long. And the conversation probably ensued like this. Oh, hello. Might you be looking for a wizard? No. How do I know you're a wizard? Well, look at me. I've got the robes, I've got the hat. And I've got your wallet in my hand. And then he pulls out my wallet, and it's like, actually my wallet, and it's gone. And I'm like, this is just some silly magic trick. How could you have done that? Give that back. And then he's all like, oh, you only believe in what you can see. The folly of the human condition, or something like that. I don't know. And then we probably, like, talked for a majority of the day while watching the ducks, and I offer him some melon ice cream, and he's like, my, maybe you do have the gift. And so I thank him and tell him, like, come by anytime. And it turns out, let's see if he's a real wizard. 1 through 3, he's not. 4 through 6, he is. 2. So he's not a real wizard, but he's a magician, and he's claiming to be a wizard. And, you know, if that's what makes him happy, good for him. But don't lie to your friends. Another Joker? Oh man, that means that's the last Joker. That's the only... So Joker was obtain a new skill. Two, hunting. Well, maybe my hunting trips will get a little bit easier. You know, maybe hunting that deer previously gave me a little bit of an edge and taught me some things about how to hunt better. 5 of hearts. Beep, boom, 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 boom. 5 of hearts. 5 of hearts. You find a ruined, unknown structure. Okay, so I kind of imagine that this is all like wooded area down here, past the melon patches and the apple trees. The wetlands are over here, like the lake and stuff, so everything's a little bit wet, but I bet we have a forest out here. And so I was probably wandering around my property and came across this structure. Unknown. Looks like it's been there for a really, really long time. All that's left are, you know, basically a square of just rock. And it's not even a full square. It's got, like, parts of it missing. You can just kind of tell where it used to be. And no, there's no records of it. You know, I asked my wizard friend, and he had no idea about it. And so, yeah, there's an unknown structure. I spent a lot of the day cleaning up the area around it, trying to see what it could be. You know, my imagination is running wild. Like, what if it was the Templars? I'm aware that that's unlikely, but the next day, I meet a possible love interest. Day 13. Meet possible love interest. So I'm probably like tending to my crops and everything, and then I go back out to the library and I sit down and with my little book about smithing and one about hunting and one about ducks. And I'm sitting there, like, probably reading the one about ducks. And then I, like, making sure it's the right book that I want to check out. And I go up to the counter, and there's a new librarian that wasn't there the last time I was there, and she's just the most prettiest looking person that I've ever seen in my life. And I probably get too flustered to actually say anything. She's like, oh, you find some books you like? You like ducks? And I'm just probably like, yeah, I like ducks. Ducks are cool. And then I hurriedly leave, and like, you know, my face is incredibly red. And then I go sit with the horse and tell the horse and the ducks all about that interaction. And probably sit at home crying and eating melon ice cream because I am too shy to speak to anyone. But the days continue to move on. And, you know, I went out to the unknown structure. Day 14. Find a patch of edible mushrooms and berries nearby. Whoop. Whoop. So down by this structure, you know, as I was cleaning it out the other day, I came back a couple days later and I find a bunch of mushrooms and berries. Okay. Berries and mushrooms. Oops. Over by this unknown structure. And you know, I probably ate it and then was like, maybe I should have looked that up before I ate it. And I'm not really sure. And so I spent most of the day worrying about if I was going to die or not from eating poisoned berries and mushrooms. But on day 15, sell your crops or items made from a skill at the market. And so today is the day. I get to go to the farmer's market. And sell melon ice cream. And it sold okay. And everyone wasn't as crazy about it as I was, but, you know, I still definitely believe in the cause of maintaining the melon ice cream sales pitch. You know, it's a dream. We have to keep it our dreams. And so, coming off the high of selling my melon ice cream, even though, you know, not everyone was into it, but day 16, I got the Jack of Spades. Jack of Spades. You encounter a wild bear while foraging. So I go back out into these berries and looking for more bear. That's a bear. So I encounter this bear while I'm looking at berries, and I see it. You know, I probably smell it before I see it, as you do with bears. And so I'm gonna just try to sit there as still as I can and not move and hope that it doesn't detect me. And so I rolled a 5. So I'm going to succeed in just hunkering down and staying as still as possible until the bear just passes on by, and as soon as the bear is gone, I book it back to my homestead. And so I think that maybe life on the homestead is more dangerous than I had originally thought. Like, my goodness, I never thought I'd see a bear the first 15 days, or 16 days. But the days continue. Day 17, the two of spades. Create something or obtain something with a learned skill. So my learned skills are fishing and hunting. Fishing, hunting, and smithing. So today I am going to create my first axe. And so I, smelt the metal down and get it really, really hot and pour it into my little axe mold, and then I beat it out and dip it in the little acid wash bath, and then fit it onto a handle, make sure everything's alright, grind it down, make sure it'll be sharp, make sure there's no D-lambs in it. And yeah, I created my first axe. I'm probably incredibly sweaty, incredibly burnt from the forge, the heat of the forge, but also incredibly proud. I made this with my own bare hands. Well, not bare hands because I saw the bear yesterday, but that's exciting. And then the next day, I get a really, really nice sleep, and I travel to town, and I made a new friend. And so this is probably pretty encouraging for me, because my only friend so far is a magician who claims he is a wizard. And I'm starting to see that I'm becoming the melon ice cream duck lady person. And having friends might be a good idea. And it's hard to find friends, especially whenever you homestead and live by yourself. You don't get a lot of opportunities for socializing. So these cards are a mess. Yeah, so we'll say my new friend's name is... Man, I hate making names. My new friend's name is Terry. Terry's pretty cool. And the day will move on, and so Terry and I are gonna go to a local fair. Let's say they have a Ren fair going on. And Terry invited me to go. So me and Terry go to the Ren fair. They get a really big turkey leg, and we sing and dance and gallivant and have the best of times. And then I come back home and remember I have responsibilities. I got responsibilities. And, excuse me. So the next day I have to buckle back down on my homestead. And I got the 10 of hearts, so I discover a grove of fruit trees nearby. And so let's see what kind of fruit trees they are, because we already have apple trees on the homestead. Crop. Oh, well. Let's just make it up, because the only kind of fruit tree is apple, and I think I would maybe grow pears. Find some pears. gonna look up something real quick. Let's say we have a grove of oranges. Actually. So, because nothing would ever be convenient in my life, my homestead, let's say that, okay, the bear is gone now. Bye-bye, bear. So, let's say there's oranges right here. Orange. Close enough. Orange. And, you know, maybe I could make an orange melon ice cream. That could be cool. But, you know, that's for dreams. Day 21. Oops. Day 21, I got the 10 of spades. You discover nearby forest teeming with wildlife. So this area is all forest. Forest, 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 forest. Forest, 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 forest. Oops. Forest. And so let's say I find a lot of, like, the forest is alive today. Forest. Lots of squirrels, lots of rabbits, lots of birds. Everything seems to be like super awake and active today. And so day 22, we get the 7 of spades, and one of my animals give birth. So today, you know, I always thought my horse was just fat. Which, totally fine. I love the horse no matter what. But the horse decided to give birth. It woke me up this morning and it was like, giving birth. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to help this horse give birth so everything's okay. And then I do, and it was beautiful, and it makes me remember why I love homesteading and being around animals and nature. It really, you know, helps you see the world a little different. But the next day I decide to venture from the homestead. Everything's good with the little baby horse. And I head back into town, and I come across a fortune teller. So I'm probably like meeting Terry for lunch, or my wizard friend. And I come across a fortune teller who's like, would you like to have your fortune told? And well, let's see if I'm interested. Oh, why do I keep throwing those on the floor? 4. So I'm like, probably a little hesitant. Like, I really believe that life it turns out the way it does because of, you know, every action you make has a consequence. And I don't really think that you telling my fortune is going to sway my outlook one way or the other. But sure. And so then the fortune teller gives me this basically she tells my fortune. And she says that while I'll have a prosperous homestead until I don't know, I'm not a fortune teller. So this is, let me think. She probably gives some cryptic riddle of like, you must break the mold in order to thrive. And then leaves me with that. And I'm just like, okay. And I probably don't think too much about it after that. And I go to sleep, and day 24. Where are the clubs? Where are the clubs? Today we obtain a new animal. So, animals. Today, you know, I have acquired some pigs. And so we will put them over here. The edge of the forest. Pigs. You know, well, we definitely won't have to have a garbage disposal anymore. So, there's that. Excuse me. 5 of spades. I made another new friend. Day 25. Made another new friend. So maybe I had to travel 2 days to get the pigs, and on my way back traveling, I made another friend who has their own homestead. And let's say that this friend's name is... That's not a name. My brain just said that their name is Creole, and that is gonna be their name. So, Creole is my friend, and also has a homestead, probably takes care of, let's see what the options were. So I feel like Creole probably takes care of like rabbits and chickens and goats. And doesn't live too far away, but probably takes a little while to get together. We'll have to plan ahead, and you know, we just hit it off. Apparently, I am getting more social the less social I am. But I get home the next day, get the pigs all situated, and day 26. And today we get a new crop. Potatoes. So maybe Terry came by and was like, hey, I had some extra potatoes that I couldn't get planted, and I know that you've got all this space, and would you like some potatoes to grow? And I'm probably like, yes, I would love to grow some potatoes. Thank you, Terry. Potatoes. Close enough. So, ooh, how another Joker. I forgot this deck of cards has 3 Jokers, and I don't know why. But that works out for me because I obtain a new skill. And I do love obtaining skills. That rolled up onto my computer. So my skill, I already have hunting and fishing. I'm gonna learn herbalism. Okay. So, today I went back to the library. I find every excuse I can to go see the unnamed librarian, who I have not ventured up the courage to ask her name. But I go and I research some herbalism because I'm starting to see flaws in modern medicine, and I would like to know how to take care of myself if something were to happen, and like what is good for the body and what is not good for the body, and how I can optimize the body to reach my highest potential. And then I venture home and, you know, finish all my chores for the day. And boom, boom, 8 of diamonds. And during the night, I get a knock on my door. So maybe my... Okay, so Creole actually has been driving through town, and I get a knock on my door, and Creole doesn't even know that this is my address. It just happens to be. And it's like, well, my truck broke down, and I really, you know, can't make it 2 days away, and could I just really use your phone? And you know, as Creole's saying that, I imagine that, you know, they haven't even looked up, and they look up and they're like, oh, well, hi. And so I invite them in and stay until the morning, and then we work on Creole's truck and get it all up and running, or take it to a mechanic. Yep, we did that successfully, and so then I get them back on the road, back to their home, because they have stuff to do. They have their own homestead. And the next day, I obtain a new animal. So maybe as Creole's leaving, you know, because they were getting a new cow, they give me a cow as payment for cow. As payment for helping them out, and you know, a token of good faith and looking forward to the future. So the day will continue. Everything else will go pretty smooth. And the next day I'm gonna spend it trapping. I head out into the woods. Early in the morning, I set up the traps, and then I go and take care of the animals, get myself some food, take care of my crops, and then I go back and check the traps. And let's see if we caught anything. 1 through 3, no. 4 through 6, yes. 1, but not a single trap has caught anything. However, they all have been sprung. So maybe I'm not the best trapper. And I go to bed thinking about that. And so today I decide that I'm really sick of having to, like, boil my water and use everything from, you know, the lake. And I'm gonna build a well. Probably not right there, that's a bad place for it. Oops. And so, I'm gonna have a well right here. Because I think that's something that's really, really important. And day 31. The 4 of Hearts. Spend the day upgrading your homestead. Okay. So, you know, maybe I didn't have the best materials to build my windmill, and maybe the house isn't looking so great, so I spend the day, like, you know, cleaning off the siding and replacing anything that needs replaced, rebuilding everything, putting shiny new coat of paint on my buildings, just make everything look a little bit better. And yeah, so I think that's a good place to stop for today. I did an entire month of life on the homestead, and I really enjoyed this. I think that, you know, it's cool that it can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. I don't have anything bad to say about it. It's really cool. Yeah, I'll link it in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day. Don't forget to be nice to people, and I'll see you later.